Good morning, Aries. So you seem like you're very clear on something. It's like you're in lockdown probably. You know, you're not able to do what you want to do at the moment, but it's like you've kind of made your mind made up about something, and it's kind of like let the chips fall where they may. This is what I'm doing. This is my plan. So it may not be something you can action right now, but you know that the second you're able to do it, you're going to do it. So I saw for you green apples. When I tuned into the energies, I could see green apples. So I don't know if that means anything to you. Maybe not. If it doesn't, just leave it for somebody else. The two songs that randomised as I was setting up your reading were Religion by Lana Del Rey. Mine's made up, Like the Chips Fall Where They May. And California by Usher and Tyga. If it wasn't lockdown, we'd be partying. So yeah, I definitely feel like mine's made up. Know what you want to do. You're just waiting for your chance to do what you want to do, basically. And I'm sorry, it's very early, so I'm just going to drink a bit of my coffee. Yes, there we are. My kids are still distance learning, so my son's going to need my computer all day. Excuse me. And yeah, I'm not super happy about it. Right, so we've got a bit of Enrique going on here. Let's randomise a song for you on camera for your reading today. So Aries, can you give me an overview of Aries' reading today, please? A Stroke of Luck. So I don't know if you saw that, but it was A Stroke of Luck by Garbage. So yeah, maybe just looking for your lucky break. It was funny that it was saying let the chips fall where they may, and then you've got A Stroke of Luck. So definitely a feeling of like taking a chance here, a bit of a risk, a bit of a gamble. Could be something there to that. Let me just have a quick listen of that song off camera, and then we'll start to pull you some cards. Yeah, so that's the song that goes Hand of Fate or Devil's Claws, You Came to Me. So it's like it's a person, I feel. I mean, it doesn't have to be a person, but it can be some kind of lucky break, some kind of opportunity, a chance, a risk. And I mean, I think your mind's made up. I think you're going to go for it. But there's also this sense of like, I don't know where this is going to lead. It could turn out to be heaven or hell for me. Interesting, that religious theme as well that's coming through there with Lana Del Rey, Religion, and Hand of Fate and Devil's Claws. It's like, I'm getting a sense for some of you, it's like rejecting the traditions again. Not necessarily rejecting a whole religion, but could be aspects of that. For example, I know the current Pope is very progressive in comparison to perhaps more traditional popes of the past, who you know, he's kind of all right-ish with things like gay marriage and those kind of things. You know, people being a bit more liberal. So there could be something there where the very, very strict scripture of the past is perhaps being reassessed somehow, being eased for you. I am getting the sense that perhaps somebody is interested in same-sex relationships, so there could be something there with that, like, you're my religion. I'm putting like you know, like, because to me I think unconditional love is the purest thing that we have. It's the closest thing that we have on earth to a divine connection. So yeah, if love is divine, then, you know, if you find a partner that represents that for you, it's like heaven on earth, right? I mean, I don't want to be too sort of sacrilegious or anything like that, but that's the energy that is kind of coming through there with that. So I'm going to roll up my sleeves just in my sweatshirt and leggings today, like very, very casual. Let's go. So can I get one card? If more than one card comes out, I'm putting them back. I'm being a bit strict with my cards today. One card, please, for Aries. One card, please, for Aries. This is a new deck. It's the Elemental Oracle by Stacey DeMarco and Kinga Britshigi. So if you're interested in that deck, that's it's only, I think it was about £12 on Amazon, so it's not a super expensive deck. But it's a bit original as well. I quite like it, and I don't have anything like this, so here we go. Ah, interesting. Animals. Speaking your voice. speaking your word voice on the bottom. Animals, yeah, it's interesting because as I was tuning in, I was really drawn to the dog on your full card, and I was thinking, oh, maybe somebody has a dog, but it just seems like, yeah, probably about 50% of the population probably has a dog, so it just felt a bit like a cop-out, and I didn't really say it, but yeah, there's like a wolf there on the back of that one as well. Animals, companionship as well. So yeah, definitely looking for companionship. I think you're going to take a chance probably on someone, on some kind of moving towards something that feels good for you socially. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a love interest, although it could be. It's more to do with like friends, I think, and having a party. It talks to me about like baser instincts as well, like trusting your gut, trusting kind of there's more like caveman like instincts for kind of like, I want to be part of a tribe, I want to be I'm going to move towards where I feel good and feel safe and protected. So there's something like that going on there as well. We will pull more cards and see what else comes out there. Aries, please. Can I get one card for Aries? One card for Aries. I'm sort of getting like Dr. Dolittle as well, like he could speak to the animals. So it may be that I'm getting this image of somebody who has a dog. It doesn't have to be a dog either, but some kind of animal, maybe a bird as well. I'm really drawn to the bird. But it's somebody who's like, oh, hello there, how are you having a good day today? Talking to an animal like it's a human, like it can understand. And maybe also being quite in tune with animals as well, with like being able to read the temperament very well, being able to, some people I think don't think animals feel in the same way as people do. I kind of do. I'm vegetarian. I think, if you spend time with animals, you can definitely see that they feel and they think, and they have personalities and needs. So there could be something there with that, where it's like maybe you're very in tune with animals in like a Dr. Dolittle kind of way. So take anything again that resonates there, leave anything that doesn't. She's also she kind of looks a bit like Frida Kahlo to me. So again, Frida Kahlo, art, she was a very kind of a very liberal and progressive figure in art, so could be something there again for somebody. Can I get one card please for Aries? One card please for Aries. I'm going to take the one that's showing upright. It is a wolf again. So as I said, I was kind of picking up on the dog on that card, and then you've got a wolf on this card and a wolf here. The other is freedom is yours, horse spirit, and dear spirit, bring a gentle touch. But as I say, I'm just taking the one. So wolf spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. Now what I'm getting here, because it's drawing me specifically to like dogs and wolves, is wolves are an interesting animal, that they tend to be a pack animal. They tend to be, part of a bigger family. They all kind of have a role within that family as well. They're quite instinctive. They kind of, I'm being showing footballers. I don't know if somebody's interested in football. But if you think of footballers, they, when you've got a team that works well together and they've worked well together for a long time, they kind of all know the plays, and they all know where they should be at what time. So they kind of know what the other players on the field are doing without looking, because they've practiced this routine. So there could be something there with that, where I feel like you're part of some kind of community, and it's almost like you all kind of instinctively know where you should be at what time, and what the others are doing, what they're all thinking, what the mood of this group is. So something there for you like that. It could be that you're really missing this group as well. If you've not been able to spend time with them because of lockdown, it could be that you are really kind of needing that social network that is so beneficial to you. It's really important to kind of feel part of something like that. Let's read from the book. I've put the book away because I'm big brain this morning. Yeah, as I was coming to the reading as well, I mean, I always feel a bit like this with Aries. It's like you're the first sign in this, you know, the set that I do. You know, so this is the first reading of this type that I'm doing, and I always feel a bit like quite eager to get it done. So this kind of quite proactive, eager, kind of like just get it done, get on with it energy. Why am I on turtle spirit? It's 62. The number 62 or turtles could be relevant to you. Everything that goes wrong in a reading is kind of like part of the reading. Here we go. Let's look. So 67, wolf spirit. Excuse me a second. Okay. Wolf spirit leads you deep into the enchanted forest that holds the secrets to your life. Now that's interesting because I did a reading yesterday. Sorry to kind of break into this. I did a reading yesterday. I did not post it because there was something in there that I was a bit uncomfortable with, and I thought it probably wasn't for the public. But I went for a walk yesterday, and sort of all day and for the last week or so, the name James keeps coming up for me. James, James, James. Seeing it everywhere. And as I was kind of walking around, this James energy got kind of like really, really strong. And I was sort of on my way home and I was like, I have to do a reading for James. I have to do a reading for James. And now I don't like to do personal readings. And I don't know who James is, right? There's how many people called James in the world? I did get a sense that possibly James may have passed over, because as I was kind of like really thinking I need to do this reading, like really trying to get home so I could do this reading for James, I saw a robin. And now robins are apparently connected to the other side. So if that is relevant for you, you know, I just wanted to kind of share that. But when I got home and I pulled cards for James, one of the cards that came out, I was saying, who is James? Who is James? And they had the forest from Kim Kranz's Archetypes deck, the forest and the maiden. And this kind of talks about fairy tales and, you know, being quite pure and innocent, being that princess going out into the woods, the dark, scary woods. But you have to kind of go and do that to have some kind of like soul growth, some kind of like experience. So it came out through the reading that this maiden, I started to call her Lily because of this Alan Walker song. Lily was a little girl afraid of the big bad world. She grew up and kind of left her castle walls or something like that. And then she kind of meets this presence in the woods that says, follow everywhere I go. You'll be safe under my control. So it really felt like James was quite a controlling energy. He was very insistent that I did that reading yesterday. It was very like get it done, a bit like how your energy is coming through. So I don't, maybe he was an Aries, or he is an Aries. I don't know who he is. But yeah, he was very much like James is going to get what he wants and get it done. So it was like quite bossy energy, but yeah, you'll be safe under my control. And then I started to call the other energy Lily, and I got right to the end of the reading and I was like, for God's sake, James and Lily, that's Harry Potter. I was sat there thinking, am I just reading for Harry Potter? And then they got this song about like a song about get on a train. I can't remember what song it was. I'm gonna have to look it up for you now. I feel like if I'm telling you for a reason. So Overload by Sugar Babes, which is the train comes, I don't know its destination. So maybe this is actually for you. The train comes, you don't know its destination. So you don't know where, you've got this sense of like, you know you're going somewhere, you don't know where you're going, you're feeling a little bit vulnerable, feeling a little bit scared, but it's kind of like feel the fear and do it anyway. Trust came out quite strongly for Lily. Maybe your name's Lily, I don't know. Trust came out really, really strongly. Like the Lily energy, the maiden energy really had to be very trusting in the situation and kind of almost put herself into like kind of feel the fear and do it anyway, right? Like she had to go into that deep dark woods, but it was kind of in order to meet James, and James was protective of her. So I don't know if that's any relevance to you whatsoever, but there you go. So I'm just going to start this reading again. As I say, if I'm talking about it now, I'm probably supposed to. Wolf spirit leads you deep into the enchanted forest that holds the secrets to your life. Can you sense her beckoning you to follow, asking you to take all you have learned and all you are learning and make it yours? Can you integrate it all into your body, mind and spirit? Whatever lessons you learned along the way, do not leave them unexamined. Be loyal to your dreams, to your soul, and to turning knowledge into wisdom and experience into magic. You are the one you have been waiting for. Be still and know that the sound of your heart beats in harmony with the whole world. The appearance of wolf spirit is an auspicious omen that says you are truly in alignment with your destiny. So yeah, you're moving towards something as part of some kind of community, right? It feels very shamanic, actually. It's like almost like going into the woods and feeling like you are part of nature, you are part of the woods, like that is your place. Very kind of like, if you imagine that you're a tree and you've got roots, this is part of how I tune into the energy when I do these readings. It kind of comes from yoga. But if you imagine that there's energy running up and down your body, and then that energy runs through the soles of your feet, and it's as though your feet have roots, right? And they go into the ground and they stretch out and they can connect with all the other trees and, you know, animals. And so it's about extending your energy down through the earth, but also up, like beyond yourself, up to the sky, and kind of like branches branching out into the clouds. So this is how I channel, this is how I connect up to the energies, kind of envisioning this kind of tree-like network of energy. So I like being out in the woods, and I do feel that kind of like, I do try and extend my energy out into like the trees and the animals and things like this. So I know it sounds a bit airy-fairy, it may not be your thing to do that, but like I say, I have to say what comes through in the reading, and this is kind of what's coming through. So it's almost like that, you know, the psychic connection almost between wolves and other wolves, where they kind of know what each other are thinking, they kind of move in this kind of network of instinct. So yeah, it does feel very shamanic, very kind of like, maybe you need to go out to the woods, maybe you need to go for a walk in the woods. Obviously, you know, tell people where you're going, make sure your phone's charged, keep your wits about you and all these kind of things. Take appropriate safety measures. You know, only go if you feel like it's safe. But I think instinctively, if you trust your instincts, you'll also know if it is or isn't safe, right? You know, I remember being out for a walk once, and all the crows started cawing, and I felt like it was a warning sign. And then I saw this guy further up the path who was clearly on something, right, like reeling around. So yeah, the warning signals were definitely there. And I took a different route. But there were other men around who were like walking the dogs and things, who were like, you know, middle-aged dad types. So I did feel like I was safe in the moment. You know, the area that I walk in is a safe place. But yeah, I was definitely like, I don't want to go near that person. They, you know, the warning signs are there. But then again, I was completely on my own once walking through the woods, and there was like squirrels jumping right over my head, and you know, the birds were really close, and like the instinct, the warning signs there were that I was completely safe and completely alone. There was nobody else there because the animals were so confident. So I don't know, something there about warning signs and instinct and noticing your surroundings. Can I get one card, please? One overall energy for Aries' reading. One overall energy for Aries' reading. Thank you. You've been a bit secretive, Aries. I have to say, your cards keep hiding. Ace of Earth. Yeah, you've got a plan. So Ace of Earth, having the plan, knowing where you're going, knowing where you're heading. It's almost, you know, that song that came through, A Stroke of Luck. It says, like, how did this come to me? Is it by a hand of fate, or twist of fate, or devil's claws? The aces in the tarot are something that comes to you from the divine, something that comes to you from the universe. You may not realize that, you may not feel like that in the moment. You may just be like, oh, this was a stroke of luck, you know, what were the chances of this happening, that sort of thing. But the Ace of Earth, Earth is about grounding, about things that are practical and tangible and real. But the aces are conceptual, so it's the potential for something that could be very lucrative. So you could be getting some kind of offer, or you may have some kind of idea. It's like the start of something that could turn into something really big and tangible for you. So it could be a job offer, a job opportunity. It could be an offer to I don't know, go and spend time with friends, but it's something that can actually lead to something a lot bigger. This is a deer. It's an elk. I never know the name of the male deer. But you can see he's got the big antlers. They kind of look a bit broken on one side. So to me, this is potential emperor energy. The deer represent emperors and empresses in the tarot for me. So this is like you could take this opportunity somewhere and it could lead to something very kind of like powerful. It could put you in a very powerful position, very in a place where you feel very confident and like you've got full control of the situation all your life. The Emperor is kind of Aries, Taurus energy. So there's a huge amount of potential here in whatever this is for you. And I do feel like it's something with a community because of that wolf. And you have a companionship here. So working with others, you know, even if you have your own business, you can still network. You can still make those contacts that, you know, you can do collaborations. And do your taxes. There was an advert during that garbage song while I was waiting for it. There's an advert about doing your taxes. So if you do own your own business or you're self-employed, make sure you've done your taxes if you need to. Right, okay, so let's find out more about this. So I'm doing a 9-card spread today, but it's a bit different than the ones that I did last week. Last week I kind of did past, present, future, head space, heart space, action space. Today I'm doing more of a timeline, so you're going to have the start, and I'm going to pull 9 cards, and you're going to have the finish down here. I don't know why it's a little bit wonky-donkey, but never mind. Yeah, let's just push those all the way up there, so I've got a bit more space. Excuse me, sorry. We don't care about messy cards, do we, Aries? We've got better things to do than worry about how neat things are. Yeah, so let's just go. So 9 cards, please, for Aries. So starting with the 5 of Cups, yeah, so some kind of sense of disappointment about something in the past. That's kind of like this crying over spilt milk card. I'm not taking reversals as well, just so you know. So the centre of your spread is the Knight of Pentacles. So this is somebody who's either making that offer or taking that plan and moving it forward. There's some communication there about whatever that plan is for you or that opportunity. So as I say, this is a kind of timeline. You are very disappointed about something in the past. It's like maybe you've had your heart broken in the past, which is preventing you from fully jumping, like the Fool, right? Jumping into whatever this new offer is. But the new offer is shown as having a lot of potential. You're very stressed there as well with this. Okay, 3 more cards for Aries, please. So 3 more cards ending in where this journey's going. 9 of Pentacles, that's you being very independent and like potentially working for yourself, having your own business. That's the kind of party, that's you with the other people there. And it ends with the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, Hand of Fate or Devil's Claws. What is this? But you've got the Sun card on the underlying. So it's looking really good. Whatever this is, it looks really, really strong. Really, really good. Okay, the only major arcana you have in this reading is the Wheel of Fortune. So it's like this journey that you're on now. And remember, you can be on multiple journeys at any one time. But there's some sort of pathway open to you here that I'm reading. And it ends with this Wheel of Fortune. It ends with you taking a bit of a leap of faith here, a bit of a gamble, a bit of a risk. Moving towards something, but it's something that is... there's a huge amount of potential there. It could be like, it's almost like as a metaphor, it'd be like if you took a chance on buying a lottery ticket and then you won the lottery. Now, it's not going to be that big for you and it's not going to be that obvious. It's going to be more like accepting a job offer, accepting an invitation, you know, starting a new hobby. But it leads to somewhere where there's potential to kind of like maybe have a choice point where it's like, right, do I continue down this path that's very familiar or do I take a bit of a gamble with this? Now, the gamble could potentially pay off. You know, as I say, it is followed by the Sun for you, which is like happiness and freedom. So just be aware that you're not, with all these other cards, especially like the 5 and 4 of Cups and the 9 of Swords, I would say just be very, very careful that you don't that you fully consider your options. When opportunities come up for you, don't just dismiss them because of perhaps something that happened in the past. You know, you're scared of the past repeating itself. You know, obviously, if there was anything where there was a huge amount of toxicity, or, you know, if you were in an abusive relationship, obviously do not go back to that. But it could be that a new offer comes in and you're thinking, if I get into this, if I take this opportunity, is it just going to be the past repeating itself? And this is saying, no, don't kind of like screw yourself out of a good opportunity because of something that happened in the past. Leave the past in the past, and go into this new opportunity with very fresh eyes, and take it each one step at a time. Kind of ease yourself into it, and use your instincts. Really trust your instincts and your connections with the other people who are around you to keep you safe, and to give you the confidence to kind of move into a new opportunity. Because if you never dare to take that risk, you'll never win. If you never try, you never know, right? So your reading starts with this Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups is a card about crying over spilt milk. She's got her back turned to these 3 cups here. Now, the meaning of this card, normally, these cups are normally spilt on the ground. And it is like, there's no point crying over spilled milk. So there's some kind of relationships, friendships, you know, love interests, just relationships generally with other people in the past, co-workers, whatever that is. But there's a sense of disappointment, like things didn't work out. Emotionally, you feel like perhaps you invested emotions into something that just, it was like a waste of time, and kind of getting, it was a waste of time to kind of, my heart just leapt then. So that is definitely relevant to somebody. Yeah, somebody felt that. So yeah, those relationships, you wasted your time on them, you invested into them, you kind of poured your energy into their cups, and it was not reciprocated properly. So there's a sense of disappointment in the past, kind of being a bit forlorn. I'm getting forlorn. But the thing with this card is, normally there's these 2 cups that are still standing, and you know, the person isn't really looking at them. The 2 cups that are standing represents the 2 of Cups in the tarot, which is a very equal, balanced, kind of almost like divine connection with somebody else. It's kind of like that friend that you had, who you could look at them across the room and just kind of like know by their expression what they're thinking and what they're going to do next. So it's somebody who is like very much on your wavelength, very much kind of cut of the same cloth kind of thing. Yeah, definitely kind of almost like an instinctive connection here with somebody, and it looks really, really good. But you can see on this card, all the cups are standing, so it's like there's still offers on the table, but a lot of them aren't really going to do you any good. A lot of them are just kind of perhaps there for a good time, or fair weather friends. You know, there's nothing wrong with them. It's not like they're bad people, but they're not your 2 of Cups. They're not your they're not kind of like your ride or die. So you want your ride or die. So there may be a sense of you turning your back on things that are, you know, there's nothing wrong with those relationships. It's not like you don't want to be their friends, but you don't perhaps want to overinvest into relationships where, you know, you're not going to get as much back. It's like, I get this sense, Aries, of it, you being quite time efficient, and being quite like, you know, Aries, you're quite fun, so you probably do have a lot of offers to kind of like go out and do different things. You know, or normally when it's not lockdown, right? So it may be a little bit like, I kind of have to prioritize myself and invest my time wisely in the connections that are really kind of like for me, rather than trying to be everybody's friend. But then you lead into this Page of Pentacles. Now this is definitely going somewhere. So you have the Ace of Pentacles here. This is kind of like the idea, the concept, the offer, something that's not really tangible yet, but with it being Earth, it's like it can go somewhere and it can be very profitable. So you move from the Ace of Earth, it's really nice that it's consecutive for you. You move from the Ace of Earth into the Page of Pentacles, the Ace into the Page, right? The same like suit, Now the page is kind of like, it's my student card. It's somebody who's learning, somebody who's studying. The owl's there representing higher education, higher knowledge. So you may be a student, you may be in higher education, but there may just be a situation, an idea, a plan that you're studying. So it's like maybe you did want to be self-employed. You'd have to go and find out about the taxes. You'd have to find out about, you know, how to set up your business kind of thing. So there would be an aspect of studying and learning, and kind of like, it's kind of like my drawing board energy, my chalkboard energy, where it's like you're coming up with a bit of a plan here. There's a bit of trial and error with it as well. So it's almost like, don't be afraid to kind of put your toe in the waters, kind of dip into an idea, kind of like testing the boundaries as well. I'm getting, you know, see what works, see what doesn't, and kind of like doing this kind of like small trial and error thing, as you kind of see what works and what doesn't. So yeah, this very, and can you see all the animals around her as well? It may be like you want to go and be a vet or something. You know, animals coming through very, very strongly here in your reading. She's got all these cats and like a rat down there and these owls. So could maybe be a sense of like animal behaviour, like watching animals to see how animals behave, how animals react instinctively, something like that. Like animals, they don't overthink. Here you are with this Nine of Swords, overthinking. This is stress, anxiety, depression, kind of all the awful things our mind can do to us, right? The dark side of our mind. It's one of the most painful cards for me in the tarot. So don't get stuck in your own head is the message coming through here. Don't get stuck in your own head. Animals don't overthink. They just do what feels right. You know, they do what instinctively they know is right, what they feel is right. So what's coming through is like your intuition here, your animal instincts, Aries, are your friend. When you get into that overthinking space, especially in regards to something in the past, that this is what's going to kind of like be your Achilles heel. It's going to stop you from achieving something. So yes, coming up with a plan is brilliant. Yes, putting a bit of thought into something is brilliant. But when you kind of fall into that negative space where the stress and anxiety and the self-doubt and insecurity and kind of like the fear of things from the past returning starts to hit, you need to kind of take a break and do something that just feels good. Maybe spend time with an animal, especially if you've got a dog. Go for a walk in the woods with your dog, you know, and get out of that mental torture and back into a headspace which is more practical and forward moving. So here, after the Page of Pentacles, you are hit by this King of Wands, and I kind of want to pull a card on that King of Wands. I feel like this is you. It is Aries energy. It's fire sign energy. So this is kind of you seizing what you want, seizing the day, taking what you want, taking action towards your own success. It's a very powerful energy. It's I know what I want. They're telling me James. It's like James energy. So I don't know who this James is. So it's like I know exactly what I want, and I'm going to go and get it, and nobody's going to stop me. I know what's for me. I know what my destiny is. I feel it. I'm going to go and get it. So go on then, give me an energy on this, please. Why is the King of Wands here for Aries? Five of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles, the World card, and the Ten of Swords. Okay, so you're going to hit a roadblock here. You're going to hit a problem. The Ten of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles, especially in this deck for me, are feeling out in the cold, feeling shut out from a situation. It's like it's like almost like that party inside that house is like where it's all warm and happy. There's a party going on, you know, like all your family and friends are in there, but you feel shut out from it. You can't get in. You know, you're out in the cold. I feel like this energy is in that house, right? And then you go into the World card. So feeling shut out, feeling closed out. Perhaps this is about travel. Like you can't travel. You can't go to the party. You can't travel. The World card though is about completing some sort of lesson, some kind of major life lesson. It's like if you graduate from university, right? You've completed a major like cycle of your life, but then that goes straight into, like, normally what would follow this is the Fool card, jumping into something new, but this is like done, and it's painful and it hurts. It's stabbed in the back. Ten of Swords is like stabbed in the back. It's done. It's over. So I'm sorry, Aries, because this might not be what you want to hear. Especially if this is some kind of love interest for you, or it's something that you feel like you want to move very passionately towards. You're going to hit this roadblock, and that doesn't mean it's never going to happen, right? It could just be that you're feeling very, very passionate about something, like you want to go and seize the day, like you want to go out and get what you want. But, you know, it could be COVID, travel restrictions. With the World card and the Ten of Swords, it's like, no, you can't travel, you can't go. You can't go. That's it. So whatever this is, this roadblock, and like this is a problem for you here on your journey. It throws you into this Nine of Swords energy. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Disappointment. Feeling quite heartbroken, I think. It's not the heartbreak card, but, you know, with it sitting with this Five of Cups, there's a huge feeling of like, and the Five here, it's like there's a huge feeling of like missing out. Like it's like that, you know, where your community is, you know where the party is, you know where you feel at home, and you just really want to go to this place, whatever this represents for you, where, you know, it feels like your place, it feels like your tribe, your community, your friends, your family, the people who you care about and who give back to you, and it's like it doesn't happen there. So hugely disappointed, really getting stuck in your headspace here. Fear, anxiety, depression, stress. So do be careful when you hit that, because, you know, you don't want to be in that energy for long. You know, a couple of days, okay, that's normal, especially if you are really disappointed about something, but you don't want to be stuck in that. But I don't see you getting stuck in it. I see you perhaps having a few sleepless nights, but then getting back on your feet, because you're turning from the Page into the Knight of Pentacles. So this is like moving forward with a plan, a project, a hobby, a plan, a new business, moving forward with it, getting back up on your feet, communicating. There's communicating knowledge here with this owl. Can I just quickly show you? Knowledge and communication. The Knights take action, but the Knight of Pentacles is very, very slow moving. So it could be a sense of you wanting to jump in with the World card and the King of Wands here. This could be you with your Aries energy, being very passionate, really wanting to kind of like just jump in with both feet into something. But it's like, no, you can't, like, it's you have to take it slowly. You have to take it slowly. You have to come up with a plan. You need to move one step at a time. So you kind of take your ball in. You have a bit of a sulk. You're like, no, I'm not interested in that. That's done. The Four of Cups is a bit different from the Three of Cups. It still has that sense of like, none of these offers are good enough for me. This isn't what I want. This is, I'm done. I'm over it, right? I'm over it. I'm over relationships. I'm over friendships. I'm just going to turn my back on everything. I'm not interested. It's a bit sulky. Normally the meaning of this card is there's a fourth cup, which is kind of a divine cup being brought to you by the universe. Similar to this Ace of Pentacles, where it's like, you know, this is for you. The universe is putting this in your path for you, but you have got your back to it. And you've got your back to it because you feel like everything's ended. You feel like everything's done, especially if this is some kind of... Now, whatever this represents for you, whether this is you getting very fired up, wanting to seize something that you feel is yours, or you have a love interest and you aren't able to move towards them, you feel betrayed in some way. It's like just as it gets off the ground, just as the door opens again, it ends. You know, like you fell out in the cold, the door opened, and then it was slammed in your face again. So you kind of like really don't want to have this feeling. So there's this feeling of like you're only seeing this as this Ten of Swords. You're only seeing this as over, but it's not over. This is some kind of new start trying to come in for you. So I don't know what you're going to do with that. You're going to have to kind of trust your instincts on that one. But the message of the reading is is don't completely say no to any opportunities. Kind of keep the doors open. Say, you know, it might be not right now, or I'm a little bit busy. Can we come back to that? You know, give yourself time to think, but don't just slam the door and cut someone out of your life, because I think you may regret it later. Obviously, you know your own story best, so trust your own instincts on this one. But whatever it is, I'm seeing you as being like, no, I'm not interested in it. So then you go to the Nine of Pentacles, which is actually really, really good, especially if you've been hurt by something over there. This is you being very confident in your own abilities, knowing, I think, because you've put so much thought into whatever this plan is, this kind of something very practical, something that you're doing that's practical, right? You've kind of done the trial and error. You've got to a place where you're confident enough to start moving it forward, taking those steps forward, and it's paying off. It pays off for you. This is you looking very independent. This is kind of like self-employed. Sorry, I cut out there. So this is like maybe you being self-employed, maybe you starting your own business, maybe you doing some kind of hobby, but you're doing something where it's paying off, but you're kind of doing it alone. However, this is also the Garden and the Gate card, so it's like it comes with a sense of being quite independent in some way, you know, having all the tools of the trade you need to kind of like make something happen for yourself, but you are there's a sense of being quite alone with it. There's a sense of like you being in a space where you're very, very comfortable, but there's a whole world beyond the borders of your own garden, right? There's a whole range of experiences out there that you're missing out on. So it may be that you are, while you're doing really good on your own, you may want to look at what opportunities are out there for you, definitely in terms of networking and building up connections with other people. Sorry, it's 8:30, so I've just kicked my kids out of bed and told them to go and have the breakfast and be ready for the lessons at 9, so a bit distracted there. Right, okay, so after the Nine of Pentacles, so you being like, almost like, no, I don't really need anybody else. Like, I'm going to do this on my own. You do need other people. Look, you need that network. You can't, you know. So you're going into the Four of Wands here. Now the Four of Wands is a card about celebration, it's like celebrating with other people. So I feel like it's almost like you couldn't move towards that community that make you really happy, so you did your own thing for a bit. You kind of like, you were like, right, okay, I'm gonna have to go fly solo for a while, because missing that community just gets me into this negative headspace where I can't get anything done. So you're really kind of trying to keep, almost like, it's this sense of like ignoring the community for a while you get confident and like, you know, like you look really good, you kind of got it all going for you, but then it's like maybe like the borders open again, maybe you can you know, you can travel again, and so you get to actually have that celebration that you kind of missed out on. It's like whatever was going on in that house that you weren't a part of, maybe it's like you know, I don't know, Christmas as an example with your family. Maybe you weren't able to spend Christmas with your family this year. You really missed them. But it's like this year, you know that you can get together and celebrate. I'm going to pull a card on that one because that's one of my, I mean, I'm only using one pack, but that's kind of like my negative Four of Wands. So can I get a card for Four of Wands for Aries, please? A card on the Four of Wands for Aries. Oh, you've been a bit... Oh, Aries, you've got a love interest. The Fool there. So the Fool is on the underline. That's your card in the tarot. That's taking the leap of faith. Yeah, so something changes. There's kind of like, with this Wheel of Fortune, there's a turn of events. So you've got the two of Cups here. The Two of Cups is that equal relationship that I was talking about on this card. You know, the person who you feel like you've got kind of almost like a psychic bond with. You know what each other are thinking. You are on the same wavelength. So yeah, Two of Cups there. So this is that person for you. And you have a huge amount of love for them. Like, they are your person. So whether this is a love interest or it's again, I was talking about same-sex relationships, you know, for some of you. whether this is a love interest for you, whether this is a friend, you have a huge amount of love for them and you want to tell them. You know, the Queen of Cups is very expressive, very emotionally stable as well, very in tune with their emotions. They know what makes them happy. They know who they love and they are happy to express that. You know, I'm getting gifts. Maybe you want to give this person a gift. But you can see at the moment her wrists are actually tied. So I feel like your hands are tied. I keep getting that from The Greatest Show, The Greatest Showman. It's almost like her hands are tied there as well. Look, her hands are tied, but her hands are free. Somebody may already be in a relationship. Somebody's hands are tied while the other person's free. I think you may actually be showing as the person who's free here. So your person may have the hands tied. Something going on there. But I feel like you're going to be able to spend time with your person at some kind of event in the future. Now you've got this kind of page of they've come out separately. So I feel like for some of you, there's a love interest, okay, or a friendship, a relationship, a connection where there's a huge amount of love and you want to express it, but somebody's hands are tied. This has come through separately. So it could be like, this is for you and this is for somebody else, or vice versa. So it's like two storylines I'm getting. So for some others of you, this event is to do with work or whatever this plan, this project is. I'm sorry if you can hear my cat. She's just waiting for my son to go and feed her. So he's brushing his teeth and she's like, feed me, feed me. So the King of Pentacles is like, he could be the boss of a company. He could be somebody of influence who is able to help you with your project. It's kind of like the student and the MasterCard. So yeah, this could be a boss, some kind of teacher, some kind of mentor or father-like figure. Again, it's a king. It doesn't have to be male, female, other. But this is somebody who... they kind of have the keys to the castle and you're coming through as this student energy. Or you have, could be the opposite way around, you've kind of mastered something. You can see all this progression. You go from the Ace to the Page to the Knight to the Nine of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. This could be you training other people in how to do what you've been practicing in this whole reading. So take it as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. And then it ends with this Wheel of Fortune, which is coming in as... this is coming in as the leap of faith, that opportunity, right? Throwing you out of an old cycle into a new cycle, where I think where the door was shut to you before, it's going to be open. The opportunity is going to kind of come back around. But I feel like, again, because of this sense of like trying and being disappointed, trying and feeling a bit stabbed in the back, you may be reluctant to kind of take a leap of faith here. But it's showing as you've got two kind of aces here, the Ace of Pentacles here and the Ace of Cups here. There is something trying to come in for you that is divine, and it may be a case of divine timing. You know, I was talking about this in Sagittarius's reading last week, where, you know, it may be that you try door number 1 and it gets slammed in your face. You try door number 2 and it's disappointing. You try door number 3 and it doesn't go anywhere. So you may be getting this sense of like, why do I keep opening doors if it just ends in disappointment, right, all the time? But it may be that you know, what's for you, your perfect opportunity, your perfect life path is behind door number 4. And if you don't open door number 4, you'll never know. It's like the universe is like, door number 4 is for Aries. But if you get... So you've been trying to go through these other doors, but they're not right for you. The universe is like, no, door number 4 is for Aries. So we're going to shut door number 1. We're going to shut door number 2. We're going to push Aries out of door number 3. And you're like, why do I keep getting rejected? But it turns into, instead of being like, you know, rejection is God's protection, the universe is trying to guide me towards what's right for me. You sometimes fall into this headspace of like, why do I even try? You're trying because you're trying to find the door that's for you. And it's like I was saying here, it's like testing the waters, right? You know, opening doors to see if they are right for you. And if they're not right for you, then it's like, right, I've learned a lesson there. That wasn't my door. So the universe is encouraging you to keep trying, to keep giving those opportunities a shot, because see it as life is like a box of chocolates. See it as a box of chocolates. So it's a box of chocolates, but the card that tells you what they all are is missing. and the chocolate company says to you, we want to give you a lifetime supply of chocolates. And you're like, brilliant, okay. So you have one of the chocolates and it's like, oh, strawberry, I don't like strawberry chocolate. And then you try the next one and it's like, oh, that was really hard. And you try the next one and you're like, oh, that one's really soft. Maybe I don't want a lifetime supply of these chocolates. They're all horrible. But then it's like, well, maybe you try the fourth chocolate and it'd be exactly what you like, you know? Like, I don't know, what's a really nice chocolate? I'm weird. I like the coconut chocolates that nobody else likes. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe you like the thing that nobody else likes. So it's like coming in for you because nobody else liked it. It's been kind of like left for you, if that makes sense. And that's not to say there's anything wrong with that thing. It's just that the same thing that's been happening to you has been happening to that other person, where perhaps they've been rejected. Like maybe it is a love interest and like they've been rejected 3 times, but it's because the universe is saving them for you, or you know, lining them up for you, and you're there opening these doors and trying these chocolates and being like, oh, none of them are right for me. And it's because that other energy there that's right for you, that's your 2 of cups, is going through the same thing. The universe is trying to like almost like slalom you to each other. So yeah, maybe your coconut chocolate, your lifetime supply of coconut chocolate is here for you at the end of this reading, Aries. You just have to try it. You just have to try it, and then you'll be like, this is what I wanted all along. All right, Aries, I do hope that was helpful to you. I may just pull one more card without reading the whole thing. I may just pull you one more advice card from this deck. We're just going to find out, you know, whatever it says, the title of the card. Advice card for Aries, Flamingo Spirit, embrace the in-between. Embrace the in-between. Embrace the not knowing. Oh, and then time for a deep dive there on the bottom as well with the Swan Spirit. So I feel like you are transforming here. You've into something. Enjoy the process, basically, Aries. This is what it's saying. Enjoy the process. Don't worry too much when the doors are closed on you, because every time you're rejected, every time something doesn't work out, think to yourself, thank God, or thank the universe, thank the divine for closing that door and keeping me on my right path, because I could have gone into that thing that I thought was really good for me, and it may have turned out to lead to a bigger disappointment at the end. So thank you, universe, for protecting me from whatever that was. And you'll never know what it was, right? But the universe has protected you because they want to guide you to your right door. And sometimes that takes time, sometimes that takes years, sometimes it takes half a lifetime, but you're going to get to the place that's for you if you trust the universe and stay out of that. Okay, stay out of that, you know, painful headspace for too long. Every time you get into that, give yourself the time, you know, a few days, but then get yourself back on your feet and keep going with whatever your intention is, whatever your plan is, because there's progression. There is progression here. All right, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to leave that with you, Aries. I do hope that was helpful to you. Best of luck, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.